Welcome to our International Student Brief program. Today, we celebrate a joyful festival that united Australia's fastest-growing migrant community. Nabin Gautam, a Nepalese student, took the initiative to organize a Dashain celebration in Sydney, bringing together over 100 attendees and creating a supportive atmosphere for newcomers. With a remarkable 124% increase in Nepalese residents in Australia from 2016 to 2021, this event showcased the importance of cultural traditions and community connections. In another exciting segment, we dive into the adventures of lifelong friends traveling together in their Golden Girls era. Despite life's ups and downs, these friends prioritize trips filled with music, dancing, and laughter, creating cherished memories that symbolize their freedom and connection. Their travels serve as a beautiful reminder that fun has no age limit, and every moment spent together is a celebration of life. Lastly, we discuss the recent decision by the Labour government regarding the Chagos Islands, which has sparked debates about national interests and defence strategies. Critics argue that the surrender prioritizes global reputation over the UK's defence infrastructure amid rising threats. This situation raises important questions about how Britain should confront challenges posed by nations like China and Russia. Please stay tuned for more detailed coverage of these stories. Australian Broadcasting Corporation reports on the emotional journey of Nabin Gautam, a Nepali student in Australia, who faced loneliness during the Dashain festival, a time of family reunion and celebration back home. In a heartwarming turn of events, Gautam helped organize a vibrant Dashain celebration in Campsie, Sydney, where over 100 attendees engaged in kite making, dancing, and enjoying traditional sweets. This event not only provided a sense of community for newer students but also highlighted the rapid growth of the Nepalese population in Australia, which has surged by 124% from 2016 to 2021. Gautam emphasized the importance of such gatherings for emotional support, as they remind the community that they are not alone in their experiences. In a reflective piece from the Toronto Star, travel writer Lola Augustine Brown shares her adventures with lifelong friends as they embrace their Golden Girls era, proving that joy and connection transcend age. The group, which reunites for music festivals across Europe, finds themselves laughing, dancing, and reliving their youthful spirit despite the passage of time. Their trips are not just about nostalgia, they represent a commitment to nurturing their friendships in this new phase of life. Brown's experiences remind readers of the importance of prioritizing joy and companionship, as they create unforgettable memories together, from dancing on tables to swimming in harbors. The Telegraph critiques the Labour government's recent decision to surrender the Chagos Islands, arguing that it reflects a failure to prioritize national interests over diplomatic reputation. The author emphasizes the growing threats posed by authoritarian regimes, particularly China, and condemns Labour's approach as self-harmful at a time of global instability. The article calls for a re-evaluation of Britain's China strategy, asserting that a strong stance against such threats is necessary for national security. It urges political leaders to confront the reality of China's actions and to prioritize defense spending and infrastructure independence, positioning the need for a robust response to ensure the safety and sovereignty of the nation. The Sydney Morning Herald reports a significant decline in international student visa applications, which have nearly halved since the Australian government implemented higher fees and stricter regulations in July. The number of applications from students in South and Southeast Asia has dropped sharply, with Indian applicants plummeting by 66%. In August 2023, only 15,270 offshore student visa applications were lodged, a stark contrast to 30,703 the previous year. The government's crackdown, aimed at enhancing the integrity of the international education sector, has led to a notable decrease in applications, particularly for vocational education and training, which saw a dramatic drop from 10,916 to 2,239. Education experts warned that these policies could jeopardize the financial health of Australian universities, which have already faced a $4 billion hit to the economy. The Independent highlights the frustrations travellers face with airport ground transportation, particularly in Athens. A recent experience illustrated the inefficiencies of airport transfers, where a seemingly timely bus to Piraeus ended up causing delays and resulting in missed connections. The article shares a chorus of complaints from readers about poor transport links to various airports, pointing out that many major airports lack reliable connections to their respective cities. Suggestions for improvement range from better bus services to the need for rail links, with travelers lamenting the inconvenience and unpredictability of getting to and from airports. Amid the chaos, the author managed to enjoy a quick Greek salad while waiting for the next ferry, a small consolation in the face of travel woes. Telegraph reports a worrying surge in HIV diagnoses in England, reaching a 15-year high, largely driven by new cases among migrants. In 2023, over 6,000 people were diagnosed, marking a 51% increase from the previous year. For the first time, more individuals were diagnosed with HIV after contracting the virus abroad than within England, with a significant portion of these cases originating from Africa. Health authorities express concern that the rise in diagnoses, particularly among ethnic minorities, threatens the UK's goal of eliminating new HIV cases by 2030. Experts stress the need for increased testing, better access to preventive measures like PrEP, and a comprehensive strategy to address the disparities in health outcomes among different demographic groups. The urgency of the situation calls for immediate action to curb transmission rates and ensure equitable healthcare access for all. New York Times. After a lengthy pause due to the pandemic, federal student loan payments have resumed, and borrowers are now facing the reality of missed payments impacting their credit scores once again. The Biden administration had previously implemented a year-long on-ramp that protected borrowers from penalties for late payments, but this grace period ended on September 30th. As borrowers transition back to repayment, those who miss payments will now see these delinquencies reported to major credit agencies like Equifax, Experian, and TransUnion after a 90-day period. While those who have been diligent with their payments will not experience any changes, the pressure is on for others to either catch up or explore alternative repayment options to avoid negative credit impacts. The Sydney Morning Herald. In Australia, the vital role of young international workers, particularly those on working holiday visas, is becoming increasingly evident in the hospitality sector. These enthusiastic individuals from countries like Italy, Ireland, and South Africa not only fill crucial roles in hotels and restaurants but also enrich the cultural fabric of the regions they inhabit. The author recounts experiences in far north Queensland and the Kimberley, highlighting the charm and dedication of these young workers, who often manage establishments and contribute significantly to the local economy. As the country grapples with labor shortages post-pandemic, it's clear that these temporary residents are essential for maintaining the hospitality industry, and their presence is celebrated rather than demonized. Telegraph. The push for greater university enrollment in the UK, originally championed by Tony Blair, has led to a controversial proposal from Universities UK to increase the target of school leavers entering higher education to 70%. This ambition raises concerns about the funding model, which heavily relies on international students and their substantial tuition fees. Critics argue that this expansion could further burden future generations with debt while neglecting the need for vocational training that provides practical skills. The article calls for a re-evaluation of educational priorities, suggesting that investment in primary education and vocational paths may yield more substantial benefits for the economy, rather than perpetuating a cycle of student debt for degrees that may not lead to meaningful employment. South China Morning Post highlights the urgent need for Hong Kong to address its student housing supply crisis amidst a struggling property market. As property prices plummet and mortgage rates soar, the demand for student accommodation is surging, particularly with the expected doubling of non-local student admissions by the 2024-25 academic year. With only 38,000 beds available for the 73,600 non-local students enrolled last year, the projected shortfall could reach 120,000 beds by 2028. Despite the strong growth in this niche market, challenges remain regarding suitable property availability and the need for government support to expedite development, as private investors look to fill the gap. In a SCMP opinion piece, the alarming youth unemployment rate in China serves as a stark warning amid the economic downturn. Fresh graduates are facing a daunting job market, with the unemployment rate for those aged 16 to 24 reaching 18.8%. This figure underscores the struggles of young people who are either delaying their job search by pursuing further education or flooding unskilled job sectors. The government's target of around 5% GDP growth aims to generate enough jobs for the record number of graduates entering the workforce, but concerns are mounting about whether this target is achievable given the current economic climate. The psychological impact of high youth unemployment is further compounded by the need for economic restructuring, which may take several years to materialize. The BBC reports on the rising trend of turkey teeth among young people seeking cosmetic dental procedures abroad, often driven by social media influences. Dr. Kath Stahl has observed a significant increase in patients needing remedial treatment for botched procedures performed overseas, with many individuals unaware of the potential risks involved. Cases of severe complications, such as infections and painful dental issues, have become common as patients prioritize aesthetics over dental health. The NHS has cautioned against the allure of cheap overseas treatments, urging individuals to consult UK dentists first and conduct thorough research before making decisions. Dr. Stahl emphasizes that the pursuit of a Hollywood smile can lead to disastrous outcomes, highlighting the importance of informed choices in cosmetic dentistry. Thank you for tuning in. The content above showcases the latest briefing reports and analytical synopses, thoughtfully curated by the 6Do team. These insights stem from a wide array of reputable media outlets, think tanks, government sources, and specialized experts worldwide. We encourage you to explore these sources for a comprehensive perspective. Keep in mind that while the content may not always align with the official standpoint of 6Do Brief, it's not meant to be taken as absolute directives for decision-making. Comprising seasoned media professionals, learned scholars, and accomplished scientists, the 6Do team embodies a trailblazing, fully independent media entity. To customize 6Do Brief to meet your professional needs, you have the option to subscribe to a diverse array of briefings on our website, 6dobrief.com. Regardless of your location, you can conveniently receive 6Do Brief via email.